if you've seen my previous video, which you probably haven't because it hasn't gotten many views, but I went over how to speed up an old computer by upgrading it with an SSD and memory. But if you've already done that, what else can you do? Well, you can upgrade the processor of your computer. And today we're going to go over how to upgrade the processor to your old computer. And we're going to do that to this. This is a Alienware M14X-R2 from 2012, an 8-year-old computer. So we're going to go ahead and tear this thing apart, upgrade the CPU and all that. But this video is going to be a little different. So I'm not going to show you guys how to disassemble this specific laptop and upgrade this specific processor. Instead, we're going to go over the process to how to find out which processor you have in your computer, whether or not it can be upgraded, and then how to determine which CPU you can upgrade to. So let's first start with how exactly do you determine which processor your computer has. So the first way, and probably not the most accurate way, and definitely don't use this as like a full-on way to know what CPU you have, is the sticker. So yes, this is a different laptop, but this has a sticker, and this laptop is heavy. So if you see that sticker down there, that is basically an indication of which processor my computer has. Now, this video is going to focus on Intel-based processors, because AMD processors, they're a bit more tricky and they're not that much market share. So this will be an Intel video. Sorry, AMD. So the way to tell from the stickers is, on the screen you should now see a bunch of stickers, and these stickers represent the generation of processor you have. So we're going to assume your computer is from 2008 or newer. That's what, 12 years old? So if you have a computer older than 12 years old, you should probably get a new computer. So anyways, these stickers represent which generation of the Core i series your computer has. So this is like the first generation. The second and third generation use the same sticker, and the fourth and fifth generation also use the same sticker, so that kind of gets, blurry there. 6, 7, 8, 9, the sticker is the same, but 6th generation does not say anything, and then 7th, 8th, and 9th generation say like 7th, 8th, 9th on the sticker. So that's one way to find out. However, let's look at the more appropriate way to find out, and we're going to go ahead and turn on the monitor, and I'm going to show you guys how to see which processor you have through the computer itself. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so we're on the desktop, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to right click this PC and we're going to click Properties. Now as you can see, it shows the processor as Intel Core i7 3920XM. And the most important part of this is the 3, because this 3 designates that I have a 3rd generation processor. And so we need some more information. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up Chrome, and we're going to type in CPU-Z, which is a program that will give us a bit more information. And this will let us know if we can upgrade our computer or not as well. So let's download this. Oh yeah, and you can press Ctrl-Alt-Delete and click the Task Manager to bring this up. And on this, you can also see that it says Intel Core i7 3920XM, but this gives you some more information down here. So as you can see, it says 4 cores and 8 threads, but the CPU I have in the computer we're going to upgrade is a 3210M, which has 2 cores and 4 threads. Anyways, here's CPU-Z. Now, as you can see, it says Core i7 and it says Ivy Bridge, which is the name of 3rd generation. But right here it says PGA, socket 988B PGA. If it says PGA or LGA, that means you can upgrade your CPU. If it says BGA, you cannot upgrade your CPU. And on the mainboard tab, it gives you the chipset, HM77. But we don't need to really worry about this too much. So let's go look up the socket. So the next thing you want to do is go to Chrome and search up the socket. So socket 988B wiki, and socket G2 is the name, another name for the socket. And as you can see, If you look on the right side of the Wikipedia page, so here's Sandy Bridge, which confirms that this is around the same generation. So here's Sandy Bridge, which is second generation. And here's Ivy Bridge, third generation. So these are all the CPUs from the same generation, and these are the previous generations on top. So basically, these third and second generation are interchangeable, kinda. I'll go over that in a little bit about how that works, but we're gonna go ahead and look up a higher end CPU. So I have 3210M right now. So why don't we look up, let's open a, actually first let's go to Alienore's website. And on some manufacturers, it will tell you which computer supports which CPU. This is not always true. So if you go to the manufacturer's website, there should be a document. This one has specifications, and it should tell us which CPUs are supported. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Okay. Oh, here we go. So as you can see, it says Intel Core i5 second and third generation, and then Intel i7 third generation. So it looks like this document doesn't list the specific CPUs that are supported. However, we can assume that it will support all those CPUs from that generation. So, okay. So i5 second and third generation, or i7 third generation. So let's go back here, and here's all the third generation quad cores. So why don't we look up something like the 3920XM. Keep in mind, we can also look up these second generation ones, but for now, let's look up third generation. So go to eBay, which is the best place to buy this. And we're going to search for the 3920XM. So 3920XM. And we'll go for the buy it now, and then lowest price. Okay. So don't mind these that have like a range. They're mostly probably going to be more expensive. So here we go. This is the cheapest one I can find. So $145. Now make sure the person has good feedback. It looks like they have good feedback. However, 145 is a bit expensive, so let's go back and see what else we can find. How about 3820XM? Let's see how much, or QM. Let's see how much this one costs. So buy it now because I don't want to bid. Looks like 99 is the cheapest with free shipping. Okay, that's not too bad, but I'm going to search 2920XM because I heard these are cheaper. And let's see, here we go. So this one is $75. And I'm going to be buying this one. So this is an extreme model as well. So this is actually even better than the other one. So we're going to go ahead and buy this. So this laptop has a third generation processor, and it allows me to use the second generation processor. And the way it normally works is a socket can use 2 generations, as you saw on the wiki page. However, on laptops, it's a little different. So you can go down, since this is the newer chipset and it supports third generation, it can also support second generation. However, if this was the R1 model, which was a second generation CPU, you cannot go up to third generation. You can only do second generation. This is unique mostly to laptops. On the desktop side of things, this wasn't the case on desktops. Even if you had an older chipset, you can update the BIOS and get the newer processor. On laptops, that's not the case. If you have a second generation processor, you cannot get a third generation processor. But if you have a third generation, you can use a second generation. So that's something I want to point out, because it's a lot of people think you can do it, and I was one of those people back in the day, but unfortunately we cannot do it. So because I got that processor for $75, that's the reason I chose it, because performance wise, all those processors are going to be really similar, and I don't know, I like second generation. Anyways, let's open this up, replace that processor, and see how our performance gain was. Alright, so I have it torn apart, and don't worry, I know this looks scary, but not every laptop requires complete disassembly. So there's all the screws. I made like little pictures with top and bottom. There's the palm rest, bezel, keyboard, and that's the chassis, which is basically gutted out. But don't worry, not every laptop needs this, and a lot of laptops have online video guides. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the heatsink showing the CPU, and as you can see, it is a real socket, which is great. So we're going to unhook this, and once it's unhooked, we're going to remove the old CPU from the motherboard. And as a comparison, the new one is on the right side of you guys. So the die is almost twice, it's basically twice as big as the old one because it's, 2 more cores, but it's also an older processor. So we're going to put it in, and we're going to clean the die on both the CPU, the GPU, and the heatsink because we need to add new thermal paste. And then once we added the new thermal paste, we're basically going to screw back the old heatsink and then put everything back together. Now as you can see, I'm running the 2920XM. It's successfully installed, even though I didn't know if it was going to work or not, but it did work. And I just want to show you guys a performance comparison. So let me go back to the old CPU. So this is the old CPU, and it scored 537 in Cinebench R20, 3210M. And if we compare this to the new CPU, the new one gets 1085, and it's 2920XM Extreme. So as you can see, it's twice as fast than before. And let me just show you that this is the small laptop you guys are looking at. So let's look at some charts to compare performance over generations. So as you can see, the performance is 2 times more, but I want to pay some attention to the 3920XM. This is in the big laptop you guys saw in the beginning of the video, and I overclocked it. And as you can see, an overclocked CPU can keep up with the newer ones. So I'll put a link in the description to my overclocking guide so you guys can see how that works. But as you can see, it performs well, and overall the laptop felt much more smoother than before. So as you saw, upgrading the processor gave us a 2 times performance boost, and as you can see from the graphs, it can match up quite closely to newer laptops, and all we did was update the CPU. If you add in the price from the previous video, which I'll link in the description, from the RAM upgrade to the SSD upgrade and now the processor upgrade, I spent a total of around $110 on this laptop to bring it up to spec for 2020, and that's way better than buying a brand new $500 laptop. So anyways, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this video was a little bit different instead of someone just opening up a single laptop and showing you how to update that one laptop. Hopefully you guys can see, a whole broader picture with this video. Anyways, as always, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.